Hey, another replay cast from my side. Uh, Here we have Dark Elves and Grand Cathay. Uh, it is a build I have a bit PTSD from because I played it a lot from the Dark Elf side when the Grand Cathay Crows were super OP. And yeah, this carved something into my brain. Um, so also makes me curious how it works out right now, because I haven't played it a lot since then. And those are two very strong players, and Catholic Alcoholic, along with High Elves and Tomb Kings, is definitely a Dark Elf main, and probably more versed in them than I am by a good margin. So now to the builds. We have a Blood Rape Medusa. First notable thing, this is currently a very strong unit because it has profited from the magic missile change that they now spread out, and it completely wrecks infantry now. Like they were good before, but now really. I think I commented on it already in a match versus High Elves, but yeah. Dark Shards 3 with shields. You want shields, it's Grand Cathay. Though, yeah, let's go to that side later. Morathi on foot. Now that is funny. Power of Darkness to get some extra funds, magic funds, wins, mana. Soul Stealer to heal her up. Soul Stealer recently got nerfed to wins more expensive. Yeah, we discussed this in the Dark Elf thread in the Tavern Discord. Soul Stealer just isn't very good on her because her HP pool is so low, and she also doesn't have all her debuff items, so it's currently just a caster. She has the Wind of Death, the Law of Death passive, which is very good for cheap spells, and especially Malkoth, or works on Malkoth, and gives you a lot of casts on there, but you will probably spend a lot of wins trying to keep her alive, and that is not very efficient. A bolt thrower to, yeah, there will always be some targets for bolt throwers, Bleak Swords, and some Corsairs, and now I should switch over. We have Zhao Ming. With Dragon Breath, he can cast Dragon Breath while it transforms into a dragon, so probably we're gonna see him transform and not retransformed for the rest of the game. Because unless you want to build a Harmony box with his 100% Harmony amplifier, you just don't want him in human form. Maybe to get out of some sticky situations, but if he gets shot, you can transform to be a smaller target, but that's not really. Two alchemists. Without any items, they have 2 points. They are mastery of the elemental wind, so they make the. I'm not sure if that even is shown in the replay. Yeah, here you can see the intensity 130, so that makes this spell stronger. And they also have an single entity capture rate of 3 and are very cheap, so Cathay likes to just use them as capture rate. Jade Warriors, you always have max of those. Not always an opening, but at some point getting the point early here. Oh, he doesn't transform because he wants to take the point first. And 2 Crane Gunners and Sky Junk. Now the thing is expensive, but unless they camp a really long time in the range of the bolt throwers, I think nothing here can really kill them. Of course, if dark shards get too close into them, it's also. What worries me more about the thing, if it is gonna be efficient. It does need to stay bit away from the opponent, since they have tools. If they get too close, they can be killed. But from a long distance, you've seen it, the precision is awful, and especially with this hill here, that makes everything worse. So this could be a bad pick simply by not being very efficient. Also, that is a lot of investment in shooting. That's 4K, and it leaves you open to not bring any smaller guns, and smaller guns are, yeah, more efficient if you get them in slow, closer range, or also crossbows. Crane gunners are very useful because they usually survive if they don't get dived, and get all their ammo out from a safe distance, and while all others usually get chipped down a bit. I'm not sure. The Dark Elves could probably retreat from this point a bit further. Yeah, now they're doing it. The mid will be taken then from this Alchemist, which is also very cool choice from Cathay. You want to keep your box, you want to keep your missiles defended. Ooh, that was a nice... Oh no, that was a Dragon Breath, that wasn't a Skyjunk. You want to keep your missiles defended, but you also need to take points, but you also don't want to be shot. And such small single entities are very good choices for this. You often see that with Chaos factions, bringing Sworded Heroes or similar things to just get onto a point and run in circles for the whole game, while they're being shot by cannons or something. And here we see the bolt thrower actually does a lot more damage than I expected to the Skyjunk. I put some serious disrespect on those bolt throwers, which is probably why the player here, Cathay Alcoholic, often gets me with High Elves or Dark Elves with bolt thrower play, and I still don't learn. The thing needs to retreat. The bolt thrower can't advance much further. If they get up this slope, they're gonna be shot by the crane gunners, and that's also something you don't wanna risk or invest. The Bloodwreck Medusa is... what's the value? Oh, actually quite good. I don't know what killed, but it was definitely more than those peasant horsemen. I didn't pay attention if it got any other targets. Now she's playing a dangerous game. Now she's playing a dangerous game. Those are Ironheads. They don't joke around. Though they don't seem to get their volley off. Funny thing, I'm not sure if that actually affects the fire rates of this, that they get into the stagger animation all the time, though it has 18 seconds reload time, so probably it's just being slow by itself. Yeah, that's the experience I have a lot when playing against Grand Cathay with Dark Elves, or any elves really. Zhao Ming just flies over you and grills all your low HP archer units. And there isn't a whole lot you can do about it, because he has some weird model hitbox to shoot and is fairly fast, can fly and escape, and has those vambraces, so if he gets low, he gets back to 50% HP, let's say. Yeah, 24 or 30% healing or something like this, 32. Okay. I was praising this bolt thrower, but apparently it then stopped being so efficient. You kill the Skyjunk, but if the Skyjunk has spent all the ammunition, it's not very useful. You're only doing half the value actually that is shown on this unit then, and even that isn't that good. And now it gets eaten. Might have been better to focus on something different where you can reach partial goals and so actually prevent the enemy damage from going out by reducing the missiles that they have overall. Cold One Dread Knights, very expensive unit, and now getting here into the juicy crane gunners. The Cathay formation is a bit all over the place, and they don't really have a tool here to deal with it right now. I'm not sure what would be the best tool for this. Very likely though the flying armor-piercing longbow. Those Jades and Alchemists horribly overextended. Wow, okay. That shouldn't have happened. That's not a happy place. They probably got very committed onto killing this bolt thrower before it takes down the Skyjunk, but as I said, the moment it killed it, the ammo is spent anyway, so it was just half of it worth. This is funny here actually. I think the Bloodwrack Medusa is completely slapping Zhao Ming in melee, and I don't know why he accepts that just doing. The Medusa is an anti-large armor-piercing fighter, so something that is kinda meant to kill things like Zhao Ming, and you could do way better by just bouncing around and terror-outing things. Like, if Zhao Ming was in here, those Dark Riders might be gone already, and maybe your crane gunners would have survived without shattering, though they were really low already, actually. Or try to kill Marathi, though she at least has only a little HP. Though she can heal a bit, so. What's her value? 900, okay. That's not super much. She's probably spamming down the crows here the whole game, and you just don't really notice it since the spell isn't very visible. Cold One Dread Knights. Yeah, they got into those two crane gunners, and that's the only reason they paid for themselves. Apparently the rest here was rather horrible for them. What's that? Oh, that was a Medusa. Oh my god. That was nasty. That was nasty. Yeah, two stacked upon very tight formation units at the same time. Ooh. What are we seeing here? Oh, that's Soul Stealer onto just Zhao Ming? Interesting. I would have taken those Iron Heads here. I also would have charged those Cold One Knights into them. But maybe they had the move order and just got stuck on Zhao Ming. That's something that could have happened. Some rallied remnants of cranes. With 12 models, that's still a third, and some ammo that could have done, well, redeemed their value, go to pay for themselves, but no longer. Such very low appearing gun units, or bow units that is, usually you should think twice about unsummoning them, because even if the HP is like on 10%, for ranged units all that counts really is their models, how many are still alive, and there can often be a very stark discrepancy between how many models are alive and how many and how much HP percent they still have left. So always look for that first before making decisions to unsummon them, or decisions whether it is worth to still keep protecting them. So if you want to invest like a light cavalry summon to save them, that's a harder decision even. Zhao Ming, we already saw his Vambraces popping up, and he has traveled around with the Snake Lady a bit too much. Now the he has a bit of a weird hitbox, but missiles still hurt him. We have anti-large armor piercing Cathay. Marassi is anti-large, and he actually got a miasma. This does no damage to thing entities, like maybe 100 in total, no, maybe 50 in total, but it slowed him down even more. Oh, now we're getting the Righteous Lancers of Rage in here. Feels like a bit too late, and ooh, yeah, that was a good hit. Not because it's so much, really so much damage, but because it wasn't a very expensive unit. So, the Medusa hasn't spent all her armor yet. She had like maybe 20% left, maybe 15, something around this. And her value is nuts. A lot of this was though done in melee. So it's not just her shooting. And I dare to call it was unnecessarily received from the Cathay side in melee. The Sky Junk, yeah, I don't completely remember how expensive it is, so 1600 I think. If it wasn't also damaged and you could unsummon it, it would be a value gain, but right now with this, you also often see such flying things to just provide harmony, though I suppose the practice died off since crows now also give harmony. So if you want something to just fly over your melee lines to provide harmony, or you just take a crow. It's much cheaper. It doesn't shoot while doing so, but you can use it afterwards somewhere else. Yeah, they got all munched very early by Zhao Ming, who also did great. Though, yeah, he could have done way better, I think, if he didn't decide to joke around with Medusa. Maybe the calculus from the Cathayan side was that they need something to tie down the Medusa before it shoots everything you have down, or your very important Jade Warriors down, which is probably the best target for it. So it was the knowing sacrifice of it. This could be the case, to just tie her down and try to win the rest of the fight somewhere else. Zhao Ming, while being tied down in this fight, is at least still able to just cast other things around him down. The rest of the Cathayan things hasn't really done great. They came out very late and in a very bad situation in the end. They would just capture weight. The cranes, yeah, with the hill in the middle, didn't have a good shooting position, and that means they needed to be moved out way further into the field than you wanted to, and then they got surrounded and flanked by cavalry. So, man, the Cathayan things here really didn't do well. I suspect most of the infantry for Dark Elves also didn't, because they got munched by dragon and artillery, so both sides kinda had this mutual destruction of the other side's front line. Yeah. Most things on both sides didn't do well, except some very few that did great. Marassi actually, yeah, this you can't complain about this value. I don't know how expensive she is with this kit. Maybe I can look it up afterwards. But yeah, that was an interesting pick, and she did with this value now way better than I suspected she would. Though I'm not sure how much of this is melee, or if any meaningful melee at all, since yeah, she was just trying to get into Zhao Ming probably the whole game, which she didn't want to. Yeah, and yeah, last time I showed the Medusa being completely shot by high elves. This time, um, the other side of the coin. And with that, see you on the next one.